Rise and shine, roommates. It's your girl, LaSasha Turner, and I'm here with Jimmy Fasulo.
Yeah.
Okay? He's the owner of Chambers 43 out in New Brunswick. He's also an engineer for hip-hop and R&B. So just let me know a little bit about yourself before we really get into who you are.
Well, I guess I started making music when I was 14. I played in hardcore bands and like punk rock stuff. And then around that same time, got a bootleg, like a SourceForge download of Audacity, and a couple of my friends rapped, so I'd record them on my mom's PC through a Rock Band mic, and just over like Drake beats that we got off YouTube and stuff.
So from like what Drake album? You said you're like 14, so that was like back in the day.
I know. We did something over what is it? The Motto? No. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, is that the motto? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like 2011, 2012 era Drake. I didn't really touch engineering or anything like that again until very recently. I focused on like playing in pop punk bands and stuff. I did a couple of tours, and then left that genre entirely, and then started another band.
So what made you leave that genre?
I just think like personal preference. Like there was a point in time where I was all about it, and then I started writing a different type of music, and it wasn't being well received.
And how old are you?
24.
Damn, you're young, getting it too.
I'm young as hell, and I've been doing this for 10 years already.
Damn.
It's terrifying.
That's motivation, determination, you know? As an engineer, like, what got you into hip-hop? Like,
well, I mean, it started with that for me, really. Like I said, doing the like ripping beats off YouTube and recording my friends who rapped. But as I was telling you before, like I've dropped out of school 3 times.
Right. It's never a bad thing.
No, it's definitely been a good thing. Do this all the time, full time.
I'm ready.
4 interviews a day every week, 2 interviews.
Don't kill me now.
Well, it's something to aspire to, maybe. But no, so the way I got into engineering now is just after like, being in the studio over and over again multiple times a year for like 10 years at this point, to varying degrees of legitimacy, like for the studio. Like I've been in basements that are very clearly not professional. I've been in basements that are extremely professional. I've been in studios that like the whole property is worth at least 100.
I don't know if anybody told you, but I'm a blunt person. Okay. Tell me, because like I said, like that video that you put out in the studio, to me that was lit. That was hot. So tell me like the vibe as like, and it's just how it was, the visuals to me was lit. Like, do not take this the wrong way, but like you got a white boy and then like all your black people behind you. Like tell me that vibe. Like how is rocking with them? How do they feel rocking with you?
It's like consistently through my life, I grew up in an extremely like culturally diverse town, and like all of my friends have never been the same type of person, and like just working in show business for so long, working in customer service, like I can adapt to people immediately and just like rock with their vibe. And like especially when I'm in that, it's different also when I'm in the engineer position, because like there's kind of this unspoken preconceived notion of me, like they're coming in and they should listen to me, you know what I mean? Like this guy is here to guide us, so like I never worry about like am I going to be respected or anything like that.
Well,
like,
I don't think I was coming from like the respect part, because I would hopefully you're respected in your domain, you feel me? I mean like just like the vibe, like is it I guess I'm not an engineer, I'm never in the studio, so but I guess like for example for me, like when I hang out with a certain set of people, to me it's like a different vibe. It is what it is. It's how people move. So like I was just asking, I guess like the vibe, like do they take you like out of yourself? Like do the hood come in you for a second? What?
The hood's in me. Like I do live in New Brunswick. But no.
Did you say New Brunswick?
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah. Like those dudes that I was with in that video, Bush League Records, they're like the coolest guys ever. Like they show up and immediately, like the first time I worked with them, never met them before, never spoke to them, immediately chilling hard, like solid dudes. And the vibe, like, it's weird meeting a new artist. I guess I'll just talk about it in through that lens. If I don't like their music, it's always weird. Like, I stay very professional. Like, yeah. Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, you could try that again if you want, but I think it's good. Whatever, blah, blah, blah. But when I love an artist, like, I'll be like, bro, that was weak and you know it. Give me another one. You know you could do better. Yeah. But it's like, that's really what it comes down to is the delivery and how comfortable they are in the booth. And as the engineer, it's like, I'm here, like, yeah, to record you and make sure I get all of your takes, but also, like, I see myself kind of like a vibe curator, if that makes any sense. I want everyone to get in and get comfortable and be entirely in themselves.
Wow, that's literally what my podcast is about. You know, comfortability,
chilling in the room.
That's lit.
It's like, because if somebody's comfortable enough to fuck up in front of you, mess up in front of you, so you can edit that later. So if they're comfortable enough to mess up in front of you and not like get in their head like, oh, I'm embarrassing myself, like, oh, I'm looking like an idiot, like. That's how you get the best out of an artist, and that's how they leave with a product they're extremely satisfied with and come back to you time and time again. Like, I see it more, like, we're less in the music industry and more in, like, the customer service industry. Because we're there, like, yeah, it's totally about just getting people into their zone. It's not about me, but I'm going to put my 2 cents in, and you're going to appreciate it because I'm right all the time.
Right. That's what's up. I definitely like your style. I don't know. I always match somebody's style with their occupation. I mean, your style definitely gives me hip hop vibes. I love the tattoo on the side of the head. Everything, you're lit.
Thank you. My mom's not stoked on it.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was almost taken out of the will for the head tats. But
sorry, Mama.
It's all good. I was like, hey, if I can grow the hair out for court and for funerals, I don't understand why you're mad at me. You know?
Let her pick the hat that she like and just, you know, call it a day. We're going to jump right into Chamber 43 because I'm so excited to talk about this. I feel like once COVID gets done, the word really gets out there. I don't know like how high you guys are right now. I feel like you guys are probably lit. But once COVID is done, I feel like it'll be like the I would call it the evening trap house. Like everybody gonna be there.
Yeah. Oh, that's the whole point, really. Is like it's like so Chamber 43 has existed already for 3 years in Highland Park, functioning just as a record store with antiques and vintage clothes, and it was founded by and previously owned entirely by my friend David Martins. I got hired to start working at the shop when it was still in Highland Park, and then through a series of events, the relationship with the landlord there went south. Dave wanted to vacate the premises, and he was talking about relocating. The plan to put a coffee shop in the record store had been there, and coincidentally, one of the first real conversations Dave and I had before we were friends was I had the idea to do a record store coffee shop. I saw he was doing it, and I was like, yo, don't think I'm like copying you or trying to screw you over if I do this in like 5 years or so. And he was like, nah, man, it's sick, it'd be cool. But then, you know, I started working for him because I was nowhere near having enough money to start it entirely by myself.
Right. You were young.
I'm still a baby. Then, he wanted to move to Jersey City, and we looked at a property that was, like, affordable, 3 floors. It just would have taken a lot of money to get it together, and the whole time I'm like, no, we should go to New Brunswick. No, go to New Brunswick.
Go to my hood, you heard?
It's like you're in Highland Park, like a mile away. Like most of your consumer base, most of your brand identity is already established in this area. I feel like don't move away from them and try to start somewhere else. Bring something into the community that you're already serving, make it in that community, and like Chamber 43 is known more so for the live events and the culture that it can manifest around itself. Like New Brunswick, in all of my years playing in the scene or just going to shows, like it's always been like a secret underground thing. It's always basement shows. You gotta know someone who knows the address because it's not posted. Like there's no legitimate
that's the
best part.
Right?
Oh, absolutely. But I also think it's extremely important. Like there's so many decades of culture that are just not documented because it was so underground. Like before the internet. Like, there's no record of any of the shows that happened in those basements unless someone kept a flyer. Like, there's, until when we open, nothing in New Brunswick that legitimizes the culture, how I see it. It's like, we all know it's there. New Brunswick has a reputation for the scene, but the scene has nothing to call its own in New Brunswick. So we found a spot right on, like, the commercial strip where we're gonna
everybody pass.
Yeah, everybody passes, and it's gonna get to be our people, our community. Like, this is our space, and you can't do anything about it. We don't have to hide underground. We're going to keep playing underground because it's fun.
Yeah,
but also
that's
we can all kick it here, have shows here, make money here. Everybody's going to, like, nobody's going to come play for us and not make money. Like, nobody's going to sell their stuff at our shop and not make money. Like, we exist. Yes, like, I want to make enough money off of this to not have to have another job.
Right.
But mainly, like, it's to serve the DIY and underground and independent music communities and all other forms of art.
And I feel like when you serve them out of like genuine respect and wanting to do it yourself, I feel like it always comes back around 10 times greater.
I hope so.
So the money aspect, I feel like you definitely don't have to worry about it.
Right.
Like, this is a great idea, and you just explaining how New Brunswick used to be before the internet just makes me think like you guys are trying to either rewrite or reverse history, which is a great thing.
Right. I just want to make a better future.
Yeah.
The past is always going to be how the past was, but I just want a better future.
Yeah.
For our, like, our community out there.
And what's great about our generation is that I feel like, and what I've seen and what I learned going to school and everything, is that we adapt to a lot of things easily. Easily. So, like, just like, for example, interviewing Freddie, like, it got me into, like, rock and roll, and I never thought I would listen to that. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. But, like, just, like, the way he explains it and just his music just keeps you going. So, when it comes to the cultural aspect, I feel like you guys would definitely have, like, a diverse group, which is great. When you spoke about, like, the other building having 3 floors, do you guys plan on pursuing that? Because I just had a vision for you guys, like 1 level coffee. You feel me?
I don't want to put the cart before the horse too much, but we definitely, like, when this is functional on its own, like, we want to try to find a way to at least expand this idea out of New Brunswick and try to, like, you know, if we can go out to another city and find someone who's really tapped in with the culture. Like I said, I've been out here 10 years networking with people and meeting everyone out in the scene. Dave has owned a studio for the last 10 years. He turned 18, opened his first studio.
Oh, I thought you were saying he's 18. I'm like,
no.
What am I doing?
You know, Dave is 3 or 4 years older than myself. So still a baby by most measures.
No, everybody's still a baby.
It's like, so if we could find the right people to help us, like, set up this infrastructure in another community for that to thrive, like, that'd be great. Like, and we'd love to go to Jersey City eventually, like, if it would serve anyone. You know?
I feel like Jersey City's like a little Las Vegas. So you guys are picking really great spots, exactly. So, speaking about Chambers 43 and the recording, how you guys do recording, a coffee shop, vintage, you know, event space, and a recording studio, looking on the website and just doing my little research as I do. DLM Recording Studio.
Yes.
What does DLM stand for? Maybe I didn't research too hard.
David Lee Andrew Martins. That's my business partner. He opened up DLM when he was 18. It's gone through a whole bunch of different spaces and evolutions. But we're building a studio in the basement of Chamber.
Nice.
Which is going to be an extension of DLM Studios, but also it's like the studio at Chamber 43. It's going to be part of the whole, like, we want this to be like part the artistic spot. Yeah. And
are you the main engineer in this?
Oh no, I am. Like I said, for right now. Oh, actually, I never really got to go into it. I'm still like apprenticing under Dave. Like, I'm perfect. Like, you could throw me in a session and I'll be able to track people and, like, do that part, the recording part, but I can't mix, I can't master. I am one of the main tracking engineers, but not mixing and mastering.
Yeah,
that's
Instagram is too perfect.
Yeah, because that's what I can get in there and we can have a great time. I'll get great raw materials out of the artist, but what to do with it after that, like, when it comes to, like, science and math and, like, thinking a little bit more than just what sounds good, like, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I
was looking to be like a music producer, and then, like, after one day of, like, reading this book that I found, I was like, oh, hell no.
Oh, this is not just fun. Okay. Whack.
Like, you know, bob me ahead, you feel me? So, when I was looking at, like, the studio courses, simply because I feel like that's just, like, lit as well. But I guess, I don't know if you can answer these questions, because I kind of thought that you were the course instructor, you know?
No, I'm still in the courses myself, actually.
So how is that then?
Dude, it's awesome. I mean, my experience is not the standard. Like, before Dave was taking students, I made a deal with him to become, like, his apprentice for a year. And so we got me up to snuff on tracking, which took maybe like a week because Dave has so much knowledge and it's really like intuitive, if we're being honest. Like being able to track a session is mainly just knowing the keyboard shortcuts to make life easier when you're operating in Pro Tools. But right when we were about to start really cracking the egg on teaching me mixing and mastering is when like all of the time that we can spend together has to be on chamber because we're both so busy otherwise.
Right.
But he has other students where it's like he built a course like chunk by chunk by chunk, and I've like been watching people just like get it and like start going, and then they're not coming to the studio anymore.
Wow,
which is like kind of whack.
What you think? I feel
that
like
they're never coming back. It's great that it works, and it's great that these people are learning like what they're coming for. It's just like
I can
you're
see why
really
it's
setting
not
them
great
up to
coming
never
back.
need you. But it's like for the love of the art, really. Like the more people who can do it, the better. Like it's never gonna die that way.
And not even that, like I can see why it sucks because if I was on the other end, I would believe that they would want to come back to either work for me or work with me.
There's some really talented people already, and Dave's like, I might hire him when he's done. I'm gonna hire her when she's done, and I'm like, whatever, man. They clearly know you're gonna approve of how they do things because it's how you do things because you're teaching them. So it makes perfect sense to me.
That's crazy that he's been in the game since he was 18. So like basically he's been owning this for a good like 8 years. 10 years. Yeah. That's crazy. And he's just making moves out here, setting people up for success. Like I need somebody like that. That's a great mentor.
That's my brother, man. He like we became like instant best friends. Like I got the job and then we immediately started hanging out every day. And like setting people up for success is like the best way to put it. Like I like busted my butt for him a lot before I moved into a partnership position, but like someone who recognizes the amount of effort you're putting in for them and then chooses to open up an opportunity for you that they didn't have to, it's like incredible.
Blessing.
He's an incredible person.
Teardrop, you feel me?
Yeah, for real.
That's so cute. All right. Since I can remember, I've been like a coffee and music person. That's what soothes me. That's what keeps me going. That's
what nurtures the soul.
Exactly.
The bean juice and the jams.
The bean juice. Do you guys travel as engineers?
Dave does. Dave's doing flyouts to like Los Angeles and Arizona and stuff. He's like super in demand because he's.
If Dave needs an assistant, I'm here.
He does.
I would like to travel.
But I'm nowhere near, like I said, like I've traveled with my own art, but I've never traveled for like business like that, unfortunately. But one day, hopefully. Yeah.
I feel like due to COVID, like a lot of people have time to, I guess, manifest and plan. So this might be like just your time to chill out,
COVID,
right?
Man.
And
again.
No, we were close to the end. Now we're done. No, but I enjoyed this conversation.
Likewise.
I enjoyed this genuine conversation. I'm definitely gonna keep up with you. One, because I got to see how that coffee shop. I'm ready to taste the new coffee shop.
Hell yeah.
I'm tired of Dunkin'. You heard?
Yeah.
Like,
oh man, I've been tired of Dunkin'.
And I'm not a Starbucks person, but I'm definitely ready to listen to some new vibes.
Hell yeah.
Hear some new music and drink some fresh coffee. One, thank you, Jimmy, so much for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
If anybody needs, I would say engineer, but I don't know how comfortable you are.
Oh no, I'll engineer. I will record anything. DM me, and I will set you up with studio time, and then I'll get either Doug or Dave to mix you.
And he works with some lit people, so.
There's extremely brilliant mix engineers in my circle.
Exactly. So if he works with a lit person, you already know he's a lit person.
Hey.
You heard?
Hey.
Right, until next time, roommates, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week.
And knock before you come back in the room, roommates. Thank you.
Oh, shit. I gotta do that.
Sometimes I want to watch anime, and I don't want you to catch me.